Hello friends, welcome to Kalyani IAS Academy. In the previous lecture, we have studied functions of RBI and monetary policy. In this lecture, we will study functions of commercial banks. As you know that commercial banks are financial intermediaries. So at first, to understand the commercial banks, we need to know about the financial intermediaries. See, in financial system, financial intermediary is an institution that mediates financial transaction between two parties such as investor or an entrepreneur and household and a business firm and a lender and a borrower, right? As you know that for economic growth, the credit flow should occur regularly, right? Therefore, these institutes, or we can say that financial intermediaries, are an institution which mediates the financial transaction between two parties. Now, as you know that financial intermediaries are of two types. First is that financial intermediaries, right? And first is formal financial intermediaries, and second informal financial intermediaries. And as you know that in the lecture of agriculture, we have studied the informal financial intermediaries, right? As you know that in village the sahukar, right, bicholiye, jamidar are called as informal financial intermediaries which provide loan at very higher rate, right? And if we talk about the formal financial intermediaries, then formal financial intermediaries are of two types. First is banks, and second is non-banking, right? So here if we talk about formal financial intermediaries are of two types. First is bank and second is NBFCs. Now you would think, what is the difference between banks and NBFCs? So we have studied the Banking Regulation Act 1948, also RBI Act 1934. We also studied about SLR, CLR, SRR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, then priority sector lending. On the basis of these functions, the FI can be divided between these two, the banks and non-banks. Here banks are the financial intermediaries which provide all banking facilities, right? Banking facilities, and also banks are registered under Banking Regulation Act 1948-49. So here a company can be get the license of banks and it is registered under Banking Regulation Act 1948-49, whereas the NBFCs are registered under Company Act, right? And this is the difference here. As such, the institution which is registered under Banking Regulation Act is called banks, and the institution which is registered under Company Act is called NBFC. Also, if a particular country has a primary capital of 500 crore, only then it can be registered as a banks, whereas if a company has minimum 5 or initial amount of 5 crore, then it can get a status of NBFCs. So there is a simple difference between banks and non-banks. The NBFCs are registered under Company Act, right, and banks are registered under Banking Regulation Act. इसके अलावा भी इनकी जो फंक्शनिंग है, इनके रेगुलेशन है, राइट, इनके CLR, SRR, दीज जो जितने भी फंक्शंस हैं वो क्या होते हैं, डिफरेंट होते हैं. Now banks are of two types. First is commercial banks, then cooperative banks. what is the difference between commercial banks and cooperative banks? We will see here. Commercial banks are the banks which are under regulation of Banking Regulation Act 1949 since 1949, whereas the cooperative banks are under the regulation of Banking Regulation Act since 1966. कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि जो कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैं उन पर जो बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट है वो कब से अप्लाई हुआ है? 1966 से. और अगर आप इफ यू वांट टू टेल द मेजर डिफरेंस बिटवीन कमर्शियल बैंक एंड कोऑपरेटिव बैंक, देन दैट इज द supervision. Here RBI supervises all commercial bank, whereas RBI plus का NABARD plus का here society registered of cooperative societies, right? So here registered, these supervises the cooperative banks. And second thing is that the CRR quota, SLR quota is different for the commercial or cooperative banks. So these are the two differences, right? First, commercial banks means RBI supervises the commercial banks and they have different CRR and SLR norms, और उनके ऊपर जो है बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट 1949 से ही क्या है? लागू है. वेयर एज द कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स आर द बैंक्स विच मींस जो है आरबीआई, नाबार्ड, राइट, फिर जो है सोसाइटी रजिस्टर्ड ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज, ये इनको सुपरवाइज करता है और ये 1966 से ही बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट इनके ऊपर लागू है. एंड दे हैव डिफरेंट एसएलआर एंड सीआरआर norms also, right? Now if we talk about the NBFCs, so NBFCs are also three type. First is All India Financial Institution, right? All India Financial Institutions like NABARD, NHB, right? Exim Bank. Second, primary dealers. Then NBFCs under the regulation of RBI, SEBI and others. Now we will study these financial intermediaries one by one so that you could understand this topic very properly, right? At first we will study commercial banks. So the first is public commercial bank. See, a commercial bank in which the shareholding and ownership of the government is more than 51%. So if the ownership and the shareholding is more than 51%, then the commercial bank would be a public commercial bank. Second is private commercial bank. See, private commercial bank is a commercial bank in which the ownership of the government or the shareholding of the government is less than 50% would be a private commercial bank. Then foreign commercial banks, then the differential commercial banks, right? The different commercial banks are the commercial banks which were established to play different role in our economy. For an example, that for the financial inclusion and for the rural development, the RRBs were established in India, and so RRBs were established also for the rural development. The local area banks were established, right? Then small financial bank, right? The small financial bank and also payment bank. Then second, cooperative banks. As you know that cooperative banks are the commercial banks, right? Commercial banks which are supervised by RBI plus ka NABARD, right? NABARD plus का registrar of the cooperative societies, or we can say that societies, and which have different SLR and CRR norms, right? So these are the cooperative banks, right? At first the types are here. First is urban cooperative bank. urban cooperative banks are those cooperative banks which are performing in urban areas, right? Then at state level, the state cooperative banks, and at a district level the central cooperative banks works. And to improve in agricultural sector, primary agricultural credit societies are working in our economy, right? Now we will study NBFCs. As you know that NBFCs are the financial intermediaries which are registered under Companies Act, right? Companies Act, right? And we studied the different types of NBFCs. The first is All India financial intermediaries, right? Why? See, these institutions work in whole of the India, therefore we say All India Financial Institution or India level financial institution. These are, first is Exim Bank, which is export and import bank, to improve the foreign trade. Also the import and export, the Exim Bank was established, right? Then National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development, to develop the agriculture sector and development in rural area, the NABARD was established. Then National Housing Bank, then Small Industrial Development Bank of India for the development in the industrial area. So these are AFI institutions. Now second is primary dealers. See, primary dealers are the NBFCs which work in primary market, right? So first thing is that they perform or they work in primary market, therefore they are called dealers. Also they purchased government securities directly from RBI, and then these securities are purchased and sold in secondary market, right? Secondary market. And as you know that there are जो प्राइमरी डीलर्स हैं उनमें से मैक्सिमम जो प्राइमरी डीलर्स हैं दीज आर द कमर्शियल बैंक. सो यहाँ पर प्राइमरी डीलर्स आर द primary dealers are the institutions which work in primary market and they directly purchase government security from RBI and sell it in the secondary market. Now there are many NBFCs which work under different type of institutions. For an example, that NBFCs under RBI like ICC, CIC, IFC, Mudra, FC, then under SEBI, mutual funds, REITs and others, IRDAI in insurance sector, PFRDA and national, right, and HR. So these were the NBFCs, right? Now we will understand the commercial bank so that you could understand this topic very properly, right? Commercial bank, say commercial banks are the financial institution that accepts your deposits and provide these deposits as a loan for business and provide other financial facilities for the ease of doing business, right? As you know that in monetary policy lecture we have understand the NDTL and in this lecture I made you understand the working function of the banks, but we will understand in very brief here also. See, as you know that bank accepts deposits from household, right? Household, the bank receives or accept deposit from household, and for this the bank provides interest which is at 4%, right? अब बैंकों के पास में जो डिपॉजिट आ जाते हैं उन डिपॉजिट को बैंक क्या करती हैं, दीज आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड एज अ लोन टू इन्वेस्टर. या तो हो सकता है इन्वेस्टर को और हो सकता है रिटेल लोन भी, जैसे इफ यू हैव टू परचेज बाइक, फ्रिज, मोटर कार, देन यू कैन you can purchase these on interest also, right? But at the rate of 8%. So here अगर हम देखें तो जो बैंक हैं, banks accept deposit from household and pay the interest at 4%. Then banks provide loans to investor at the interest rate of 8%. So here the difference between 4% and 8%, which is 4%, and this is the income of the bank and basis to provide other financial facilities, right? अब जो बैंक हैं वो अगर, अब आप यहां से समझिए, बैंक हैज टू प्रोवाइड लोन, राइट? पहली चीज प्रोवाइड loan. Second, if bank will provide loan at a higher rate, then definitely the income of bank will increase, and also bank perform many functions also. So in this lecture, this is the working, or we can say that this is the concept of banking, and in this lecture we will have to understand the commercial banks functions. So we will start the functions of commercial bank. See, in the previous lecture we have studied the functions of RBI also, but you know very well that the functions of RBI are different from the functions of commercial bank. So here the functions of commercial bank can be divided between two: main functions of commercial banks and secondary functions of commercial banks. And here you need to understand, 3 marker question can be asked in the examination: what are the main functions of commercial banks? Then you need to answer that the main functions of the commercial banks are accepts deposits, lending and credit creation, right? These are the main functions of the banks, right? And in these, the credit creation at the present time is the most important function of the commercial bank, right? And there are many other secondary functions also, right? First is functions of general utility, then contribution to economic development, and then act as an agent of RBI and customer. So these are the functions, main functions and secondary function. And in this lecture, this question can be asked in the 11 marker question, right? And if 11 marker question can be asked, then definitely to introduce our answer, at first we will define what are the commercial banks, like this commercial banks. Then we will use the flow chart, and then one by one we have to explain, right? So in this lecture, at first we will study the main functions, then we will study the secondary functions. So at first we will start the main function. So the main function of commercial bank, which is accepts the deposit, right? So accept the deposit, as you know that the commercial bank accept deposit from citizens, right? And the major deposits are current deposit at current account, saving deposit at saving account, then fixed deposit, then recurring deposits. And in our examination, we should have all information regarding current deposit, saving deposit, fixed deposit and recurring deposit. So we will see one by one about these. The first we will see about the current deposit and current account. So here a question can be asked about current account. See, current account is very helpful for the business transaction, because there is no limit to deposit and withdrawal money. As you know that when you go to bank, and if you have to withdraw money and if you have to deposit money, then therefore you would have a limit. For an example, that in your bank you cannot deposit money in a day, in a particular day, more than 2 lakh rupees, and you cannot withdraw the money more than this. But as you know that the traders, right, traders every day they have to sell and purchase the things, therefore they have to deposit and withdraw the huge amount of money on a daily basis. Therefore this is important for traders or merchants. So the current account is important for traders or merchants because there is no limit to deposit and no limit to withdraw the money. But here, if the if means that the money is deposited in current account, then interest is not earned on this money, right? Second is here saving account. See, saving account is very important for common man who wants to save. If you want to save some portion of your income, then saving account will be very helpful, right? So saving account for who wants to save, but there is a limit for depositing and withdrawing money. On a daily basis, you can deposit a certain amount of money and you can withdraw a certain amount of money from your account, right? And therefore this account is helpful for student, farmers and household who want to save their money. And the interesting thing is that there is no interest is earned at current account, but there is an interest available between 3 to 5% in saving account, right? Now third is fixed deposit. See, fixed deposit are the deposits which can be withdrawn from the bank only after a predetermined time period, right? And bank provide the high interest rate on it. Why? As you know that to establish a particular industry, or means to establish a particular industry, the huge amount of money for a long time is required. And if bank has FD, then definitely FD for 1 year, 10 year, 15 years. So if bank has fixed deposit, then bank can provide this amount of money for a long time at a higher rate. Therefore bank provides the higher interest rate on the FD, right? And it is a part of a near currency. See, so fixed deposits can be withdrawn from the bank only after a predetermined time period, and there is a high interest rate on it, right? And this is also called a near currency. Now fourth is recurring deposit. What are the recurring deposit? The recurring means in recurring deposits, the money is accumulated in different intervals, right? For an example, that in FD, right? In FD, you have to deposit all your money in one shot, right? But you are working professional, you get salary every month, and you want to save a certain part of your salary. Then you can have a RD, right? And the amount would be deducted from your salary at a regular interval, right? So in this means in RD, the money is accumulated in regular intervals, and this is suitable for the saving also. So these were the 4 accounts. So we have studied the first function of the commercial bank, which is accept deposit, right? So commercial bank accept deposits through these accounts: current account, saving account, fixed deposit and recurring deposit, right? Then second function of the commercial bank, which is lending. As you know that I told you some minutes earlier that bank accepts deposits, and this deposited money is provided as a loan to investor or to retailer or to consumer. Here bank accepts deposit, and a certain amount of deposit which is kept as a part of SLR and CRR, and the rest of the amount is given to the investor and others as a loan. And here now we will study the different types of the lending, right? First is cash credit, then overdraft, then advance, then wills of exchange, and we will understand these lending one by one. And you need to understand here that 3-marker question can be asked: what is cash credit, what is overdraft, what is advance or loan, right? So we will study about these one by one. At first, cash credit, right? See, cash credit is a lending facility which can be availed or extended to every consumer or every individual, right? In this facility, the cash credit is given after keeping the security or collateral, which means that without collateral or without security, you cannot avail the cash credit facility, right? This facility is provided usually for 1 year, and the interest rate is low to avail this facility, which is cash credit, right? Second is overdraft. Here, the overdraft facility is not availed by every customer or every consumer. Here, there are 2 requisite requirements. First thing is that if a customer has a current account, right? Current account, as you know that current account which is suitable, which is important for the traders, merchants also, right? So if a particular customer has here a current account and also he is an old and reliable customer of a particular bank, only then bank can provide the overdraft facility, right? So overdraft facility is given only to the consumers which have current account, and which means the customer who are reliable and old customers. Second thing is that what is the overdraft facility? See, overdraft, which means that when you, for an example, that you gave a check for a particular person, then if there is an amount in your bank account, right, only then this check be cleared by the bank. Otherwise, this would be called check bounce, right? And for that you may be arrested and a legal action would be taken against you if your check is bounced, right? But a person or a customer who is old and reliable and who has current account and he has given a check a particular person, then bank can overdraft his check, which means that if amount is not available in the customer, despite this the bank can clear the check. तो सीधी सी बात है, अगर आपने अपना चेक दिया तो वो बाउंस हो जाएगा, लेकिन जिनके पास में करंट अकाउंट है, जो रिलायबल कस्टमर है, बैंक उनको ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी के तौर पर जब वो जितना अमाउंट उनके खाते में है उससे अधिक का वो क्या कर सकते हैं, विथड्रॉल कर सकते हैं, या उनका चेक क्या क्लियर हो जाएगा. सो दिस फैसिलिटी इज नोन एज ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी, राइट. In simple words, we can say that the person who has, means the customer who has overdraft facility can withdraw more amount of money from his account, right, which is in his account balance, right. And this facility is provided usually for 3 months. Also, the interest rate is high on overdraft facility. Third thing, the loan. Bank provides loan and for a fixed period of time, right. And if you have to take a loan from a particular bank, then definitely you have to keep your security as a collateral. Also, bank recovers the interest from the customer, right. If you will take the money from bank as a loan, then definitely the loan would be recovered by the bank, right. And also, if you are unable to pay your interest rate and your amount, then for your property, your security would be forfeited, right, if your payment is not, if in the case of non-payment. Next is will of exchange, right. To understand will of exchange, at first we will see the example here. See, will of exchange. What is bill of exchange? For an example, see, there is a merchant or trader, right? If a merchant or trader suddenly needs money, so he can issue a letter of एक्सचेंज, राइट। जैसे आपके पास में किसी जो ट्रेडर्स होते हैं उनके पास में जो लेटर हेड होता है या अन्य माध्यम से वो यहाँ पर लेटर ऑफ एक्सचेंज को क्या कर सकते हैं, अवेल कर सकते हैं। और जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि हमको 40 लाख, ट्रेडर वांट्स टू टेक 40 लाख रुपीस एज अ लोन ऑन लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट, देन बैंक विल से यस वी विल गिव यू लोन बट वी विल गिव यू ओनली 35 लाख रुपीस, राइट। अगर आपको 40 लाख चाहिए तो हम आपको केवल 35 लाख ही देंगे, बट आफ्टर 1 ईयर, जैसे उसको 1 साल के लिए चाहिए, एंड आफ्टर 1 ईयर वी विल टेक 40 लाख रुपीस फ्रॉम यू। और यहाँ पर जो है जो मर्चेंट वो कहेगा ओके। तो यहाँ पर जो डिफरेंस जो 5 लाख का, दिस इज कॉल्ड द डिडक्शन अमाउंट, जिसको कटौती कहा जाता है, राइट। और इसी को ही हम यहाँ पर क्या कहते हैं, बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज। तो बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज क्या है, आफ्टर मेकिंग सम डिडक्शंस, यहाँ पर कितने का हुआ, 5 लाख का। सो आफ्टर मेकिंग सम डिडक्शंस इन द बिल्स द रिमेनिंग अमाउंट इज पेड टू बिल होल्डर। यूजुअली द डिडक्शन इज इक्वल टू द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट। फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल दैट अगर कोई व्यक्ति 40 लाख लेगा तो वो 1 साल के लिए कोई ना कोई इंटरेस्ट तो देगा ही सही। लेकिन इस केस में क्या हुआ कि यहाँ पर जो व्यापारी था, ट्रेडर्स था, उसने लेटर ऑफ एक्सचेंज बैंक को दिया जिस पर लिखा था 40 लाख का। बैंक ने उसको दिए कितने, 35 लाख, मतलब 5 लाख जो रुपए है उसकी कटौती है, उसका डिडक्शन हुआ। अर्थात ये जो 5 लाख की कटौती है, डिडक्शन है, ये क्या हुआ, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ही हुआ एक तरीके से। और जब ये जो टाइम है जो हो जाएगा, कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, सो द बैंक रिकवर्स द अमाउंट आफ्टर द एक्सपायरी ऑफ बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज एंड थ्रू दिस इट इज अ शॉर्ट टर्म लोन, राइट। तो यहां पर वी हैव स्टडीड द फंक्शन, सेकेंड lending functions of the commercial bank, which is cash credit, overdraft, loan and bills of exchange. Now credit creation. See, we have studied this topic in the monetary policy topic very comprehensively. As you know that the main functions of RBI and the commercial bank is now is credit creation. So at present the main function of the bank, commercial banks are the credit creation. And as you know that if there is a less inflation in the market, then bank will focus on credit creation, and if there is a more or high inflation in the market, then commercial bank will focus on credit control. For an example, that if for credit creation the RBI, right, if RBI want to create more credit, then RBI will reduce the amount which is LLR, so that the commercial bank will be able to give more loans. So here we need to understand the concept of LLR. So for RBI, for credit creation, LLR which is equals to CRR plus ka SLR, which means that if RBI decreases LLR, which means that if RBI decreases CRR, cash reserve ratio, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, then the LLR for the credit creation, then bank will provide more loan, and that will lead to the credit creation. Or if the inflation is high, then what will happen? The RBI will control the credit in economy, right? So these were the main functions of the commercial banks. Now we will study the secondary functions of the commercial bank, and at first we will study the first, functions of common utility. So the secondary functions of bank and the first is functions of common utility. For that, as you know that if you have a certain amount of money and important document, then you may avail the locker facility from the bank. Second, credit card facility, right? Credit card facility, you have to purchase something from market, then credit card facility. And third, you can note down here, right, debit card facility, right? Debit card facility and ATM. If you have to withdraw the money and deposit the money through ATM, then through debit card you can avail this facility also, right? And fourth is issue of travel checks and letter of credit. See, when the ATM facility, debit card facility was not availed, then the letter of credit or traveler's check was most important. वाओ, सी क्या होता था कि जब एटीएम अवेलेबल नहीं थे, जैसे किसी व्यक्ति है उसको यूएसए से यहाँ पर 50 कारें जो है परचेस करनी है, सो मिस्टर ए वेंट टू बैंक, राइट, ही डिपॉजिटेड इन मनी इन बैंक एंड गॉट द लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट. और फिर बैंक जो है, मिस्टर ए अमेरिका गए, उन्होंने यहाँ पर किसी कंपनी से 50 कारें खरीदी. ही गेव देम LOC, लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट. अब इस कंपनी ने ये जो 50 कारें हैं वो ए के पास पहुंचा दी. जब मिस्टर ए यहाँ पर इन 50 कारों को क्या कर लेंगे, 50 कारें इन तक पहुंच जाएंगी, देन ही विल टेल हिज बैंक दैट ओके नाउ आई हैव गॉट व्हाट एवर जो था मैंने खरीदा था वो मुझे मिल गया है, तो आप इसको क्लियर कर दीजिए. तो ये जो दोनों बैंकें हैं, अमेरिका की बैंकें और ये बैंकें, दोनों कोऑर्डिनेट करेंगी और उस लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट को ही क्या करेंगी, स्वीकार कर लेंगी. और इस तरीके से जो फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन है दैट विल अकर बिटवीन. सो हियर वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, जो ट्रेवल चेक है और लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट है वो यहाँ पर बहुत ही क्या होते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट भूमिका निभाते थे, जो कि वर्तमान समय में एटीएम के द्वारा निभाई जा रही है, राइट. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रेवलर्स चेक्स एंड लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट द कस्टमर्स डिड नॉट need to carrying the cash while travel, and there was a ease of travel and business in अवॉर्ड. और जो लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट है इसको मैं पूरा का पूरा आपको बहुत अच्छे से समझा चुका हूँ. फोर्थ पॉइंट विच इज एडवाइसिंग द क्लाइंट्स ऑन फाइनेंशियल मैटर्स बाय कलेक्टिंग बिजनेस इंफॉर्मेशन एंड statistics. So when collect important business statistics and provide to the clients so that they could get information. And fifth is to provide the facilities like mobile banking and internet banking. So now through the mobile banking and internet banking, it is very easy to send and receive money whenever and wherever you want, right? Next is commercial bank acts as a agent, and at first we will see that, see, when I taught you that OMO, open market operation, so I told you that in open market operation RBI sells and purchases the government securities in the market. But I told you that RBI does not do directly. RBI with the help of commercial banks buys and sells the securities in the financial market. So here commercial bank act as an agent of RBI to buy and sell the security in the market. Second, commercial bank can collect and payment various items and on behalf of, or we can say that as an agent of a customers. For an example, that collection of items. So here commercial bank can collect the check, your rent on behalf of a particular customer. Also here commercial bank can pay items, for an example that payment of taxes, insurance and bills. This is a new facility. आपके खाते में अगर कहीं से पैसा आना है तो बैंकें उसको जो है कलेक्ट कर लेंगी, और आपको मंथली अगर किराया देना है, टैक्स देना है, तो बैंक जो है वो ऑटोमेटिकली उसको क्या कर लेंगे, डिडक्ट करके उस बिल का या टैक्स का भुगतान कर देंगे. नेक्स्ट, ट्रांसफर ऑफ मनी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ draft, right? Next is buying and selling of foreign exchange as agent of RBI, right? Foreign money, right? तो यहाँ पर मैंने बताया था कि जो फेमा एक्ट है, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट एक्ट, एंड फॉरेन एक्सचेंज एक्ट के माध्यम से ही आरबीआई जो है वो फॉरेन करेंसी को क्या करती है, मैनेज करती है। और यहाँ पर आरबीआई जो है, जो कमर्शियल बैंक है, वो आरबीआई के एजेंट के रूप में जो फॉरेन करेंसी है, राइट, फॉरेन करेंसी को खरीदती एवं क्या करती हैं, बेचती हैं। नेक्स्ट हो जाएगा टू एक्ट एज अ ट्रस्टी एंड मैनेजर ऑफ द एसेट्स ऑफ द क्लाइंट्स एज पर देयर डायरेक्शन, वेरी सिंपल। एंड 6 इज issuance of reference letter, right, issued when the customer is reliable and there is a not NPA. ठीक है। For an example, as you know that if you want to something, if you want to take a loan from a abroad country and in a particular company, but the bank does not know you, then what will happen? You can get a reference letter from the bank, and if you are a reliable customer, you have no NPA, then bank can generate the reference letter. And if means having used this letter, you can get a loan from a bank of a foreign country or a particular institution. Then the third secondary function of commercial bank is contribution to economic and social development. As you know that the commercial banks encourage capital formation, right? If you have money and if you did not deposit in your bank account, then definitely the money would be out of the economy. Therefore here banks जो है, banks collect the idle funds and savings of the people and make them available for the productive purposes, right, thereby creating capital. Second, facility to make payment, right, by check. And third is promotion of foreign trade, right, by providing various facilities and import export, and by arranging foreign exchange or foreign currency for you. Here जो कमर्शियल बैंक है वो किसको, फॉरेन ट्रेड को क्या करती हैं, प्रमोट करती हैं, राइट। आल्सो कमर्शियल बैंक आर इम्पोर्टेंट टू क्रिएट एम्प्लॉयमेंट, एंड इसके लिए वो डायरेक्टली और डायरेक्टली एज यू नो दैट many banking professionals are hired or many banking professionals are recruited to perform the banking facilities. So there is a direct employment or direct recruitment in the banking sector. And secondary is that bank provide loans to investor, and when the money is invested, new industries are established, then people of India get the employment. So in this way the commercial bank generate the indirectly employment, right. Fifth is investment incentive. If you invest then definitely bank will provide incentives to you. Then 6, increase in capital productivity. As we know that the point A, right, here capital formation, bank collects the idle funds and savings and उसको फिर एक लोन की तरफ से या लोन के माध्यम से जो है मार्केट में पहुंचा देते हैं। इस तरीके से वो कैपिटल प्रोडक्टिविटी को बढ़ाते हैं। 7, हेल्पफुल इन द मॉडर्नाइजेशन ऑफ द एग्रीकल्चर, बैंक प्रोवाइड्स मैनी फैसिलिटीज एंड लोन इन द एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर टू मॉडर्नाइज द एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर। देन प्रमोशन ऑफ द सेविंग, right. So these were the functions, main functions and the secondary functions of the bank. Now here we will study the problems of banks also. The first is increase in non-performing asset. As you know that NPA, when NPA increase, then definitely the balance sheet of a bank would affect, and if balance sheet affects, then there is a possibility of collapsing, right? Collapsing a bank. And as you know that if bank will collapse, then the faith in the banking system of a मीन्स पर्टिकुलर कस्टमर विल गो डाउन, और अगर लोगों को भरोसा बैंकिंग सिस्टम से खत्म हो जाएगा तो दे विल नॉट डिपॉजिट देयर सेविंग, और अगर बैंकों के पास में डिपॉजिट नहीं होगी तो दे वुड नॉट बी एबल टू प्रोवाइड द लोन फैसिलिटी, एंड एज अ नॉलेज आवर होल इकोनॉमी वुड बी अफेक्टेड। तो यहाँ पर बैंकों की जो सबसे बड़ी समस्या है वो क्या है? एनपीए है। तो द इंक्रीज in the NPA is the biggest and burning problem of the banking sector. Second thing is that loss in rural branches, because in rural areas there is a less amount of deposit, and as you know that if there would be a less amount and less amount of transaction, then definitely the branches को रन करने के लिए यहाँ पर बैंकों को खर्च करना पड़ेगा, और अक्सर जो कमर्शियल बैंक होती हैं उनको रूरल एरियाज में लॉस ही होता है। थर्ड, एक्सेसिव ओवरड्यूज। फोर्थ, विलफुल डिफॉल्टर, राइट? बैंकों में कई बार मीन्स अ पर्सन हु हैज द कैपेसिटी टू पे द लोन बट डिस्पाइट दिस ही इज नॉट विलिंग टू पे हिज लोन, देन ही वुड बी कॉल्ड एज विलफुल डिफॉल्टर। तो हमारे देश में जो है विलफुल डिफॉल्टर की भी संख्या बढ़ रही है, विच इज नॉट गुड फॉर बैंकिंग सेक्टर। नेक्स्ट, लो क्वालिटी एंड वैल्यू ऑफ mortgaged assets, right? as you know that जब आप लोन लेते हैं तो बैंकों में हमको कोलेटरल के रूप में जो है हमारी एसेट को रखनी पड़ती है, लेकिन कई बार वो जो एसेट होती है उसकी लो क्वालिटी होती है और वहाँ पर उसकी जो वैल्यू होती है वो भी क्या होती है? बहुत कम होती है। नेक्स्ट, डेब्ट रिलीफ पॉलिसी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट। गवर्नमेंट जो है एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में या हम कहें कि इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में लोन वेवर स्कीम्स को पॉलिसी करती है, और इस वजह से जो बैंकिंग हैबिट है वो प्रभावित हो रही है। यहाँ पर जो डेट रिलीफ पॉलिसी है गवर्नमेंट की, उसकी वजह से जो वेदर वी विल टॉक इन इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर और इन एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर, द कस्टमर डू नॉट वांट टू पे द लोन। Next is providing 40% credit to priority sector lending. As you know that for the financial inclusion and the development in the priority sector, then government announced that the bank has to give their 40% loan in priority sector lending, राइट? और इसकी वजह से उनको ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में हम ये कहें कि कृषि में और अन्य में जब ये 40% लोन देने पड़ते हैं, और व्हेन बैंक आर अनेबल टू रिकवर द लोन, देन द बैलेंस शीट जो बैंक है वो उनकी अफेक्ट होती है। और यहाँ पर अगर हम तथ्यों की बात करें तो नरसिम्हा कमेटी ने जो था उन्होंने 10% प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग की बात कही थी, राइट? एंड आखिरी में क्या हो जाएगा? इकोनॉमिक रिसेशन, विच इज द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम फॉर द banking sector. So these were the functions, main functions and secondary functions, and also problems of the banking commercial banks. In the next lecture we will meet with new topic. Till then, thank you.